Hey guys, it's Misty Eyez, and I'm here with an Ask Misty that is turning into a Misty Minute about hosting or emceeing or public speaking. Dear Misty, please help. I am trying to start my very own drag show, and I have never been an MC before. What do I do? What do I say? And I don't think it's from the same person, but a local drag queen in West Palm Beach came down to Fort Lauderdale, and she's starting a new show up there, and she asked me for some advice because she's nervous and never emceed or talked on the microphone before and wanted some pointers. So I gave her several pointers, and then when I got home, I thought of even more. So I will answer your question, and then I will give you my Misty Minute about public speaking. All right, so first of all, the Ask Misty. All right, so 11 years ago, I started the Tranny Palace at a little bar here in Fort Lauderdale, and at that time, there was no drag shows in gay bars, which was shocking to me. I'm like, hello, Fort Lauderdale is a gay mecca. Why isn't there drag shows? The only drag shows at the time were at Jimmy's Cabaret, which is a straight martini bar in Las Olas, and that bar is closed. And there was also Voodoo Lounge, which is a straight dance bar, just off of Las Olas, and that is now closed. And then there was a tranny bar in Hollywood, Florida, still driving distance, same county, and they are now closed as well. But at the time, those were the only three competitions. So I wanted to start a drag show. I went to the bar that I wanted to start it at, and I was talking to the owner, and she wanted it on a certain night, and I'm like, no, you can't, we can't do it that night because there's another show at the same time. And I didn't want to compete with any other drag shows in South Florida. I wanted us to be one human family. I wanted us to be one loving environment. I wanted us to all get along. Not to mention our fans. My fans will probably be their fans, and let's grow and help each other. So that being said, I started a Tuesday night drag show because Trixie's was closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, and Jimmy's was, I think, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Voodoo was Sunday. Long story short, when you're starting a new show, do your research and your homework for the surrounding area and make sure you're not stepping on anyone's toes or trying to step on a current night. You're going to get a lot of enemies that way. But as far as public speaking or emceeing an event or hosting a show, public speaking is actually very, very difficult. It's hard to do. This is not something that everyone can do. So here is a list of pointers or things that I would suggest on how to be a better public speaker. Now, a lot of times people suggest imagining the audience naked. I don't think that works. I have never thought that worked. The only thing I can think of that would help you relax even just a little bit is if there's a bright, bright spotlight shining in your face, look into the spotlight and talk into the spotlight. That might help you refocus or regroup or get your mind on or off, whatever it's on or off. Another thing to remember is this is something you're doing because you want to do it. This is not a requirement for your 8th grade English class or your 10th grade speech or communications class. This is something you actually want to do. You want to get on that stage and you want to talk to these people. You're not required to, you're not forced to. So just relax, take a deep breath, and be yourself. And I say be yourself because I remember when I was in beauty school, we would always pretend to be British. Hello, love, would you like your hair done today? Would you like a bulb or would you like a buzz? Like, I don't know, we just all thought that we had to be British or we tried to be something we're not. And, or especially if you were a stage performance artist or did hair shows, oh, absolutely. I don't know, we all have these funky, weird accents. Needless to say, unless you're quite talented, you'll lose your accent halfway through the show and then look like a fool. But most importantly, you just want to be yourself. Be confident and be yourself. I once heard a story about a reporter who was featuring Olympic athletes, and he was watching them before they competed, and he noticed that they all, every single one of them, were visibly nervous. And when he interviewed them, he's like, oh my gosh, you must have been very, very nervous. And they all said no. And he's like, you weren't nervous? And they're like, no, I was really excited. I couldn't wait. And then to prove them wrong, he started to look up signs of nervousness, and they're all the exact same signs of being excited. When we're excited or nervous, we pace. When we're excited or nervous, our heart starts to beat. When we're excited or nervous, we start to get fidgety. When we're excited or nervous, we get clammy hands. So, when you are nervous, just tell yourself out loud, I'm not nervous, I'm excited. I get to go on stage. I get to talk to these people. I get to influence lives today. These people get to hear me. And that's the attitude you need to take no matter what when you go out and talk to the microphone. Yes, there's many times when I go and like, oh my gosh, celebrities are in my audience, or somebody I look up to, or there's a reporter, or I've never had my mom or anybody in the audience, but that would make me nervous. You want to impress people, you want to be amazing. That is nerve-wracking, but it's also exciting. And there's definitely times when I've done pageantry where I get so nervous, but I have to remind myself, I'm excited. I get to do evening gown competition. I'm excited. Know your audience. If you're in a lesbian bar or at a lesbian party, you're not going to talk about how much you love cock. If you're speaking to a room full of Alcoholics Anonymous, you're not going to talk about, oh, I love Jägermeister and Jägermeister this, Jägermeister that. I mean, these are hardcore examples. But also, if you're speaking at public events like a gay pride, for example, where their street is full of families, you definitely don't want to get up there and use adult language because there are children. And yeah, they might be children of gays and lesbians, but gays and lesbians don't want people to curse in front of their children either. So you have to guard your tongue. Know your audience, know with whom you are speaking, and therefore you can cater your tongue to that event. Another tip that I'm going to get a little personal about is when you're on the microphone, do not admit fatigue at all. Don't. I've emceed many events, piggybacked events, done one event, ran to another, done another event, ran to another, done another event. And there are times when I've done events on 2 hours of sleep. I'm a workaholic. I love to go. But I do work at a venue where one of the MCs, she opens every show with how tired she is. She's overworked. She's rode hard. This is her 3rd show and 4th show, and she's had no nights, or she's emceeing and she's not supposed to be here today. It's supposed to be her day off. And I don't know why she does it. I think she's trying to gain respect or get the audience to be like, wow, she's real popular. She's a hard worker. But I've had customers complain that they felt that energy and they're like, oh gosh, I feel like I just paid $60 to hear an overworked and underappreciated girl on the microphone all night. And I know that's not her intention. I think she's doing it for laughs. But don't admit fatigue on the microphone. Be thankful for every job you get. Be appreciative. Smile. Thank the audience for coming. Thank them for being there. Don't curse them out because you're exhausted and don't want to be there. How's that going to make them love you? Most people that talk on the microphone are actually insecure and shy people, but you can't be insecure on stage, and you must make eye contact. Eye contact is very, very important. Obviously, if you're in a bar full of 800 people or more, and there's balconies and levels, you can't make eye contact with everyone, but make eye contact with as many people as you possibly can. As you are speaking, make eye contact with a person and lock eyes with them for a moment, for an entire thought, for an entire second or a sentence, and then move on and talk about your next point and your next thought and then move over here and make eye contact with somebody else and make sure that they feel your heart and your emotions. Take pride in the fact that you're not audience grazing. A lot of times amateur speakers and new people, and this, if you're brand new, will help you, but you look above everyone's head and you look over them. Or, like I said in the very beginning, look into the spotlights. Make the spotlights so bright that you can't see the audience if you look into it. That will help a lot of amateurs. But if you learn to talk to the audience as if they're people and connect with the audience as if they're people and make eye contact with the audience as if they're people, this will truly help them become interactive and appreciative of your show. Be very aware of your body movements. Control your mannerisms. A lot of times when people are nervous, they nod a lot. Okay, so yeah, I want to tell you, don't say don't say oh. Try to avoid filler words. Those are a kiss of death. When you start going, well, I wanted to talk about this one thing that I wanted to talk about, the audience is going to snooze and they're going to start talking with each other. Don't let them. Avoid filler words. Don't put your hands in your pockets. Don't fidget. A lot of times when we're talking, oh yeah, this pocket is really, really important and I have to, no. Eye contact will help you with this. If you engage your audience, you're not going to be worried about futzing with your whatever. Another thing that will help with the making eye contact is move around the stage. Yes, you can absolutely stand in one place and talk to the audience in one place. But if you move over here and talk to that part of the room, and then move over here and talk to this part of the room, that will truly help engage everyone. And you want the whole audience to be engaged. Work the room. And when you start getting more serious and more intimate, then get closer. Definitely move around the stage, work the stage, work the room. And I love when I'm emceeing the show, I love to actually be in the audience sometimes. Like, oh my gosh, I'm over here with the cool people or whatever. Don't be afraid to leave the stage and actually, especially a drag show, when the girls are performing on the stage, you don't have to be on the stage. You can be. I've done shows where I've been on the stage the entire night. But I've also done shows where I wasn't on the stage at all, except for when I performed. Another big tip for when you are emceeing a show, go to all the other shows. See what the other girls are doing. But do not recite what the other girls are doing. Yes, I have heard that imitation is the highest form of flattery. If you can't come up with your own things to say, you're nothing but a knockoff or a wannabe or a mimic. Be original, be yourself. Now, yes, there is a girl in Fort Lauderdale who worked under me for 8 years. She was my right-hand MC. I had her MC a lot when I would go out of town, or she helped me do the lineup of the shows, and we were very close. But she wanted to have her name in lights, and she started a show on the same night as mine and the same time at another bar. Which is a slap in the face and very offensive, but also she says everything I say. Like when I go out on the stage, I'm like, hey everyone, welcome, and I do a couple rules and I have like a little monologue. Part of it rotates and changes, but some of it stays the same for every show. She now says my entire monologue, word for word, verbatim, and so many people come to me like, she's copying you. I'm like, yes, I know. But the funny thing is, everybody knows. My point is, you're starting your own show. Don't copy other people. Be original, be unique. Yes, you can see what works for them and do something along the same lines, but I'm quite sure you'll be brilliant enough to come up with your own whatevers. Now, as far as actually speaking itself, you're going to want to hold the microphone close to your mouth. If you do hear squeals or like feedback, that's because the DJ can't hear you and he's turning you up. So a lot of times people do this. No! Put it closer to your mouth because they can't hear you, and the microphone is so loud that it's picking up the speakers. So the closer you hold the microphone to your mouth, the less you're going to have that feedback squeal. I heard once that you should touch the microphone to your chin or your lips. That is actually a bad habit if you're wearing lipstick. I get lipstick on every microphone I use. But you don't have to turn the microphone up so loud, there's no feedback. So I get in the habit of putting my microphone here, especially because I wear lip gloss and I start getting microphone lipstick on my face from cross-contamination. Another thing is, especially if you're nervous, slow down. Slow down much more than you would think necessary. And if you don't believe me, have somebody record you and you can watch the tape back yourself. When we get nervous, our heart starts to race. When your heart starts to race, so does your mouth. And you're like, oh gosh, everybody, here's showtime, and we're gonna have fun, and yeah, y'all ready to see the next show? Let's go. Girl, take a deep breath, enunciate. I'm not saying you have to draw out your words, but definitely say them so that people can understand them. Have a good time. Speak slow and clear so everyone can understand you. The last thing you want is the whole night people to be like, what did she say? What did she say? What did she say? And if you do have a severe accent, speak extra slow and extra cautiously so that people can understand all that words that come out of your mouth. Because if you talk real fast and real bad, they're not going to understand nothing. Slow down. Take a deep breath. Have fun. Relax. All easier said than done, especially for me. Beauty pageants. I know a lot of times in beauty pageants, I keep telling myself to relax, but I get out there in the evening gown competition, for example, you're supposed to go slow and glide. Bitch, I get out there and I fucking race like it's like, vroom. That's something I personally am working on. So I know, again, it's easier said than done. Get out there, relax, go slow, take a breath, and enunciate your words. All right, now, if you're emceeing an event or an awards ceremony or an event where things are coming and going, and your job is to be funny, but it's also to keep the event moving right along. Do not get out there and talk between girls for over 60 seconds. Go out there and say something quick and cute. Unless, of course, there needs to be a stall. If she's having trouble tucking or if her zipper's not zipping or whatever, she's going to send someone to tell you she's not ready, her shoes aren't on, or her wig's not on, or whatever. Then you need a stall, and that's when you look for Peacock. But I'll go to Peacock later. Just remember, the show is not about you. The show is an entire living orgasm as a unit. Don't steal her thunder before she goes on stage. For example, if you're at an awards show and you know that Hairspray is going to talk about the sticky qualities of adhesive, you don't want to talk about sticky qualities of adhesive right before they go on stage. But if Hairspray is doing an illusion of Liza Minnelli, you can definitely let the audience know, ladies and gentlemen, in the illusion of Liza Minnelli, welcome to the stage. You can prep them, but don't take away their thunder. Let them have their moment. And I've been to many, many shows where I've seen MCs that definitely think and or feel that they are the entire show, and they talk 10 minutes between each girl, and it's annoying. But a good tip when you're introducing someone would be to announce their credentials or let the audience know how famous they are or why they're the best Liza Minnelli impersonator or why they should respect and awe and be gagged by this entertainer. Ladies and gentlemen, she's a living legend. She's an icon. She is whatever. That's okay. Now, I mentioned the word peacock. A peacock is someone that is doing something to stand out, something that is not normal, something that will get them a lot of attention. Gauged ears, mohawks. For example, a guy comes to my shows with huge, giant bunny ears, and that's definitely a call for attention. Please notice me. And if you see anybody like that, they're begging for attention, give it to them. If they're raging against the machine, give them attention. If they are doing something to stick out, give them attention, especially if you're looking for a stall factor. The audience loves to be made fun of, but do not ever make fun of something that you cannot control. For example, a disability that you can't control is not something I would ever make fun of. It's not your fault you have a lazy eye, but it is your fault you bleached your hair into a white trash coma and your hair is frizzy and whatever. You put those clothes on your body. Obviously you bought stock in Kmart or whatever. Talk about their choices, but not the things that they cannot choose for themselves. For example, disabilities. Never ever make fun of disabilities. But you can make fun of their lipstick. You know what I'm saying? Like, make fun of them, but don't make them suicidal. Now, if you're caught in a situation where you do need a quick stall and you can't think, or you're like, what did you say? Because your manager is trying to talk to you. That's a great time to be like, all right, if you're drinking tonight, make some noise. What did you say? And that buys you a second. Oh yeah, I'll announce drink specials, or okay, I'll stall, or whatever they're trying to tell you, so you can react and deal with the situation without the audience knowing that there's an issue. And when they're done making noise, like, okay, yes, I just want to let you know that if you are drinking, we are now doing $4 Peacock vodka all night, so let's get fucked up. Woo! Party, whatever. And I think as a mic, so used to holding a microphone. I think as an MC, the number one thing that I can't stand is dead air. Especially on stage at like Pride or an event like that. When there's nobody talking or nothing happening, then you're like, it's dreadful. When you're emceeing an event, make sure you truly understand the event. I was recently hired to do an award show / Christmas party for an employee event, and I had no idea who, when, where, what, why, or how. I got there, they threw me paper, and I ran on stage and did it. I did the best of my ability, but I was not funny. I did not, I had to read from the paper. I did not know what was going on. And I didn't know until the event was over that it was for a charity thing that I truly believed in. Drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. And I'm like, damn it, I wish I knew all this before the show. And I was in the green room for I think an hour before anyone told me what to do or even gave me paper to read. I'm like, okay, go on stage. And so my advice to you would be, get the 411 before you actually start the event. That would truly help. And also, if there is a paper to read, I don't like to read paragraphs like, all right, let's welcome to the stage Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson is a teacher and he likes to play basketball. What? No. Highlight a couple points that you're like, okay, dot here, dot here, dot here. Talk about Mr. Wilson. He is a teacher. He is a coach. He loves this. But you don't need to read all the words. The words are not important. If you get stuck reading, it's going to be boring. Touch the bullets, touch the highlights. But in order to do that, you have to have the notes before you start the event, and therefore become comfortable before you go on stage. And that is something that I cannot always do, but that's definitely something you strive to do and you want to do. Also, if you are telling a story, let there be a point. I mean, we're not telling stories to our audiences just to have stories. We're telling them for a reason. What is that reason? Explain that reason in a way that they can relate to that story. I remember when I used to do a lot of singing in the church. I remember the choir director or the church, whatever, music director would always tell me, if you skip a word or skip a sentence, just keep singing. 99% of the audience will not care. 99% of the audience will not even notice. I remember I sang the national anthem one time and I messed up the verse and gave another verse. Nobody even noticed it except for me. I just was like, wait, what's next? And then I went into another part. Don't stop. Just keep going. And if you do make a mistake, it's okay to let the audience know you messed up. Or it's okay to just keep going and pretend that everything's a-okay and you didn't mess up. Nobody noticed. And I think that is all about personality. Like, if you're not afraid to laugh at yourself, admit you messed up. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm having it. I just did this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you noticed it, but this is what I just did. Laugh at me. And I do that all the time. Another important thing is, as an MC or hostess, you want to be gracious. I've seen a lot of public speakers flip off or piss off or curse at audience members. They don't have to come to your show. Why are you being evil and vicious? If you're evil and vicious, they might not ever come back. Now, there's a way to be vicious in a funny way, but when you're really mad at someone, remember, the entire room is watching. Calm down. But the only way you would truly, truly get better at emceeing and develop your skills or hone your skills is by practicing. Practice makes perfect. I always use the example, watching Michael Jordan play basketball is not going to make you a good basketball player. You actually have to get out there and play basketball. You're not going to be good at drag until you start doing drag. You're not going to be good at emceeing until you start emceeing. And you're going to notice, or actually I should tell you to notice, when the audience tunes out. What are you doing when the audience checks completely out? Now, is that something that keeps happening when you do that certain thing? Or are they just a table of drunk, bitchy people that don't care what's happening around them either way? Now, as a public speaker or a public figure, you're going to have lots of people that love you and agree with everything you say. But just as many people that love you, you're going to have people that don't like you, or they're jealous, or they detest everything you stand for. And they're bitter. Why does Misty Eyez get everything? Why doesn't everybody love Misty Eyez? Why does whatever? That happens. You can't focus on the naysayers. There will be people in the audience talking shit. There will be people in your audience ducking and weaving their fat heads. Ignore them completely. Do not stoop to their level. Do not call them out. Focus on the people that are with you. Focus on the people that are engaged. Focus on the people that are like, yeah, keep going. Yeah. You're going to have people cheering for you. Focus on them. Now, if you're getting heckled, this will happen in your career. It might not happen every day. Hopefully it doesn't happen every show. But it will happen from time to time. And how you handle hecklers is actually very important. Remember, you're not their teacher. You're not their boss. These people do not have to be in your class or at the job. They don't have to sit in your audience. They are there to have a good time. And when you are handling a heckler, yes, feel free, because a heckler is somebody that is in a very public way razzing you. Yes, feel free to put them in their place. But it is very important that you don't stoop to their level. And again, remember the things earlier. Don't make fun of anything that they can't control. Be like, oh, you stupid fucking cripple or whatever. Don't ever do anything like that. Don't even think anything like that. Everyone is going to remember that heckling moment. Oh my gosh, when that one heckler happened, blah, blah, blah. Misty got them right together, and the audience will be on your side. They're there because they love you. They're there because they want to be there. Don't lose them. Don't piss them off. Don't get them on the other person's side because you became a raging bitch. Be careful. Be cautious. Don't lose your head. Don't lose your temper. But again, I think I said this before, but when you are starting out and when you are learning to be an MC, go to a lot of other shows, watch a lot of other MCs, watch good MCs, watch bad MCs, learn from things that they're doing that is good, learn from things that they're doing that are bad. Be like, oh, I have to make sure to never do that. Or, oh, I like it when she does this. I have to make sure to do something like that. Don't plagiarize, as I said before. Make something your own. Be like, oh, I like it when she does this, but I'm going to do it this way. Or if I do this instead, it might be funnier or might not be as offensive or whatever. One of the first things that I noticed a lot about emceeing is you can definitely tell when a girl is drunk. I obviously never wanted to be a drunk MC because that's when you start doing things that are embarrassing. And I drink. I'm not afraid of alcohol, but I am afraid of public intoxication. And I am afraid of doing something that I can't remember. And I'm afraid of doing something that I regret. So definitely don't ever let that, if there's a microphone in your hand, don't let that ever happen to you. And again, when you're closing the night, always thank your audience for being there. They don't have to come. thank them. Don't flip them off. Don't curse them out. Let them leave with a happy taste in their mouth. They want to come back, and you want them to come back. Loving you is easy.